Hello everyone. Today I'm going to discuss on one topic which is very common in all the entrance exam. This topic you'll find these questions in all the entrance exam, like be it CAT, be it IPMAT, be it CLAT, be it the state entrance exam, or even banking entrance exam. Now the topic is called simple interest and compound interest. Topic is simple interest and compound interest. First, we will understand what is the difference between simple interest and compound interest, and we'll understand the theoretical part of it. We can take some examples also to understand this. To consider what is simple interest and what is compound interest, right? So when I tell simple interest, so the meaning of simple interest is it is interest on principal. And when I say compound interest, the meaning of compound interest is interest on interest. That means when you pay interest on interest, it's called compound interest. Let us understand the help of one example. Suppose you have 20,000 rupees and you invest 10,000 rupees in one bank which is offering you simple interest, and another 10,000 rupees in another bank which is offering you compound interest. And let's say both banks are offering you rate of interest as 10%, and this bank is also offering you rate of interest as 10%. When you go to the first bank after 1 year, at the end of first year, the bank will offer you 10% on this, which is 1,000 rupees. When you go to this bank which is offering you compound interest, at the end of first year, here also, since you have invested 10,000, you will get 10% of that, which is 1,000 rupees. Now, next year, when you go to this bank, since you have not taken out your money, you kept that 1,000 rupees, you did not remove it. When you go to the bank, the bank will tell you that we only offer interest on the principal amount. The bank will again give you 1,000 rupees only. While in this case, when you go at the end of second year to this bank will give you 10% of this, which is 1,000 rupees, plus 10% of this, because since you have not removed this money, so bank will again offer you 10% on this, which is 100 rupees. At the end of second year, you will get 100 rupees extra. Here 1,000 over 1,100. At the end of third year, when you go to this bank will again give you 1,000 rupees. While this bank, the end of third year, will tell you that we will give you 1,000 rupees on that initial investment, plus 1,000 rupees on, 100 rupees on first year's interest, and then they will also give you 100 rupees, 10% of this, which is 110 rupees, which is 1210. So here, if you see, in total 3 years, you earned an interest of 3,000 rupees. Here, total interest is 1,000 plus 1,100 plus 1,210, which is equal to 3,310. So you see, in 3 years, on simply 1,000 rupees, the difference between simple interest and compound interest is 310. That means in this case, you make 310 extra. That is why Einstein said that compounding or compound interest is called eighth wonder of world. So that is why, you get your money gets compounded. That's why people say that invest in mutual fund, invest in, the stocks, they're good stocks, because money keeps on compounding. Okay. So now, this is very basic of simple interest and compound interest. While in compound interest, the same thing can be found by using a formula, and the formula to find simple interest is principal into rate into time upon 100, where time has to be in years and R is called rate of interest. This is simple interest formula. While compound interest is given by principal bracket 1 plus R over 100 raised to the power n minus 1. This is how you find the compound interest. by using this formula. You can also use multiplying factor which you have in profit and loss in order to get the answers for questions of compound interest, also formula to find the compound interest. Now pause the video and you can take a note of it. Now next is, now understand few more things from here. Right. Simple interest and compound interest questions are generally easy. You need to be very good in calculation at least. If calculators are not allowed, most of the exams do not allow calculators, so you have to be very good in your calculation. Okay. Now, in compound interest, right, there is one more formula for amount. So, amount is what? It is nothing but principal plus compound interest. Amount is, suppose you invested 100 rupees and you got 10 rupees back. So, total amount is 110, which is principal plus interest. And formula to find out amount is P into 1 plus R upon 100 raised to the power n. This is the formula which you can use to find out the amount. P into 1 plus R upon 100 raised to the power n, where n is number of years, R is rate of interest. Remember when to use this formula? When R is compounded annually. When rate of interest is compounded annually. Now, when rate of interest, or say when rate is compounded half yearly, when rate is compounded half yearly, then same amount formula will be P into 1 plus R by 2 into hundreds. You can also write it like this. Rate becomes half and time period becomes double, 2n. Right? Rate becomes half and time period becomes double. Similarly, when R is compounded quarterly, then your amount will be P into 1 plus. Now, compounded quarterly means every 4 months you have to give interest or take interest depending on whether you're borrowing money or giving money. Rate becomes 1/4 100 raised to the power 4n, because the time period will become 4 times of the given time, because every 3 months you are paying interest or taking interest from someone. Now, generally, why you should know this, right? Now, student have this question that what is the practical application of this? Where I'm going to use all this percentage, profit and loss ratio. Right? So, let me explain you this whole thing with an example. Right? Suppose you are taking a loan. Right? One bank is offering you, let's say, 10% rate of interest, and they are charging you interest annually. Charging you interest annually. I'll take two cases here, you can understand it. So in first case, you take a loan, let's say you take a loan of, let's say, 1 lakh rupees, and let's say rate of interest is 10%. So how much amount you going to pay to the bank after 1 year? It is principal, which is into 1 plus R is 10 by 100 raised to the power 1, because after 1 year you are going to pay interest. So it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this will become 11 by 10, 0, 0, and this will be equal to 1,10,000. So how much amount you are going to pay back to the bank after 1 year is 1,10,000. When bank is asking you to pay, rate of interest is compounded annually. So understand why EMI is not a very good concept. Why you should not buy things on EMI? Because you end up paying more. Right? Now, second is, You take a loan again from another bank which is also offering you rate of interest 10% but compounded half yearly. Compounded half yearly means every 6 months you have to pay interest. Okay. So as I told you, in order to find out the amount after 1 year, you first should know the principal, which is 1 lakh to 1, and now your rate becomes half. I told you when compounded half yearly, when rate of interest is compounded half yearly, your rate becomes half, that will become 5 by 100, and your time period will be 2. Why? Because every 6 months you are paying interest. So in 1 year time period, you will pay interest twice, which you solve it by cancelling it. So this will become 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 20 times it is 21 by 20 square. It is 21 by 20. Cancel, cancel, cancel. This is 4. 4 25s are 100 and 250. Now this is 250 into 441. 25 ones are 25, 5, carry 2, 25 4 the 100 plus 202, 2, 25 4 the 100, 11250. That's correct. Wait, this is to multiply 441 with 25 and put 10. 25 ones are 25, 5, carry 2, 25 4 the 100 plus 202, 2, 10, 25 4 the 100 plus 10, 110, and put 10. We'll pay 110250. So in this case, how much amount you are paying? You are paying 1,10,250. How much extra you paid? 250. So here you are paying 250 extra. At 1,10,000, here 1,10,250. Understand, if you are taking a loan from some bank for your higher education or for anything, and if bank is charging you rate of interest compounded half yearly, should not take it. And you may remember, if this whole thing converted into EMI, it's called monthly, right? You end up paying more, much more. So avoid EMI. Do not fall into that debt trap, which is, many people are falling into the debt trap. Do not try to do that. Try to save money for higher education or for whatever purpose you want to use it. But do not get into that EMI wala concept. You'll have big troubles. So this is one thing you should know, right? When rate of interest is compounded half yearly, quarterly, monthly. In monthly, your rate will become 1/12, but your time period will become 12 times. Okay. Stop the video and take a note of it. Okay. Next is few more things. The difference between compound interest for 2 years minus simple interest for 2 years on same principal and same rate of interest is given by a formula PR square by 100 square, and compound interest for 3 years minus simple interest for 3 years is PR cube upon 100 cube plus 3PR square upon 100 square. Right. Remember, these formulas will help you to understand questions. Sometimes you do get direct question in some exams where you can use this. Just remember this formula. They can ask you what is the difference between compound interest and simple interest on same sum of money at 5% rate of interest, 10% rate of interest. Right? That kind of question can be asked. Next is a question. The question is, a sum of money becomes 4 times of itself, 4 times of itself in 10 years. a sum of money becomes 4 times of itself in 10 years. In how many years it becomes 10 times of itself? Right. That's the question. Some exam ask you these type of questions also, which are very direct. First of all, a sum of money has become 4 times of itself in 10 years, right? I can use that at simple interest. Remember that at simple interest. Now, I can solve this question by forming the equation PRT, but let's try to use short tricks here. In order to understand this short trick, pay attention to this. So suppose you invested P rupees, right? And you are getting what? 4 times of it. So when you are getting 4 times of it, so you will get your money back P plus you will get 3P extra. You invest P plus you will get 3P extra. This 3P is your interest. And this 3P you are getting in how many years? 10 years. Then same sum of money will become 10 times of itself in how many years? That's the question. So suppose now you invest P rupees and you want it 10 times. So in 10 times, first you will get your P back and 9P is extra. That means this 9 times of P you will get in how many years? So look at this. If 3P is becoming in 10 years, then 9P will become in how many years? Just multiply this with 3. So multiply this also with 3. So 10 3s are 30 years. So direct question, sometimes they ask you in various entrance exam. Should know how to solve it. You can use SI is equal to PRT upon 100 using that formula, because this is a simple interest principle. You can find out the rate of interest, and again you can use this as a simple interest and principal as P. Rate of interest is known. You can find out time. I don't want to get into that because not needed for such questions. But if you still need, you can drop me a message. I'll explain it to you. Okay. You can pause this video and take a note of it. Now, let me take a question, right? The questions is, I'll not write down the entire question. I'll explain you the question. The question is, right, man invested total 15 lakhs, right, this much rupees. Some part of this 15 lakh he invested in fixed deposit in FT at 6%. Some part, right? This is some part. Means let's say 5 lakh or 6 lakh or 10 lakh. The remaining part again divided in the ratio 2:1. The remaining part again divided in the ratio 2:1. Where at this, that means part which the second part, 2 part which he deposited is offering 4% rate of interest, and this one part is offering 3% rate of interest. And FD is giving you 6% rate of interest. And the total interest, this interest, this interest, and this interest. So the total interest is 76,000. Total interest which he earned after 1 year from all the investment is 76,000. Now, there are 2 methods of solving this question. One is again forming an equation and then solving it. And second is shortcut, right? Second is more about weighted average. Then I'll tell you that which exam has asked this question. That exam is considered to be one of the most difficult exam. So let's understand. He invested 3x rupees in fixed deposit. Then he deposited 15 lakhs minus 3x rupees in this scheme. That means this money we divided in the what ratio? 2:1. Right? This remaining amount is now divided in the ratio 2:1. where you are getting 4% here, getting 3% here. Right. So let's understand how much interest you will get here after 1 year. Whether it is simple interest or compound interest does not matter, because for first year, simple interest and compound interest is same. Right? Simple interest and compound interest is same. So here principal is 3x into rate is what? 6% and time is 1 year divided by 100. This is the interest he will earn here. And here he is depositing 2 part out of 3 part into total 15, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 minus 3x. And this at what percent rate of interest? 4% plus 1 by 3 times of 3x and 3% here. Now, you just take this 18x by 100 plus percent means I can write this by 100 percent, and this percent I can write this as 100. Here you can cancel this 3 and 3. So, or you don't want to cancel it because it will be easy to take LCM, you can keep this as 3. So this is 300 and this is also 300. So LCM is 300 and this is 2 times of 15 lakhs minus 3x into 4, which is you can get 8, 4 to the 8, plus 3 times of 15 lakhs minus 3x. This total is nothing but equal to 76,000. This much interest you will be paying. This much interest now you will be, this when you solve it, you will get the value of x. And once you get the value of x, multiplied with 3 times of x, because the question was how much money you invested at 6% rate of interest. How much you invested at 6% rate of interest. Okay. Now, I'm not saying that you should not use this method to answer the question. You can use this if you're comfortable with forming the equation and then solving it. Do it. I will give you second approach to the same question. If you know the weighted average part, I will give you second approach. What is the second approach? You can solve it and find out the value of x, which is 3 lakhs, and then you will get 9 lakhs. So here in this case, I am getting 4% and 3%, right? And 2 part and 1 part of this. So remember, this is P1, this is P2, this is Q1, and this is Q2. So weighted average, if you have to find out, so it is 4 into 2 plus 3 into 1 divided by 2 plus 1, which will give you what? 11 by 3%, right? That means at 4% you are paying, you're putting 2 parts, and 3% you're putting 1 part. And using that formula P1 Q1 plus P2 Q2, a weighted average formula. The weighted average formula is what? Is P1 Q1 plus P2 Q2 divided by Q1 plus Q2. When you use this formula, you'll get the answer. This value 11 by 3. So from here, from this part, you make how much? 11 by 3%, right? Interest. And from FD, you are making 6%. So from whole, you will be making somewhere between this and this, which is total interest. While total interest is what? 76,000, which you made on what? 15, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to convert this into percentage. 0 and 0, 0. So it is 76 by 15%. Write 76 by 15%. And in weighted average, we'll take the difference of this and the difference of this. 6 is more. So when you solve it, this will give you what? You have to write 6 minus 76 by 15. It is 90 minus 76 by 15, which is 14 by 15. So this is 14 by 15 part, and this is 21 by 15. Solving it. And when you cancel it, this will give you this. This will 7 3s are, 7 2s are. That means 3 part and 2 part. So at 6% rate of interest, you invested 3 part of total 15 lakh. And at this 4% and 3%, that means the remaining money you invested 2 part of that in the ratio 2:1. How much you invested at 6%? It is 3 part out of total 5 part into total 15 lakhs. Which is equal to 9 lakhs. So you see, this question is a difficult question, right? Of course, it's a difficult question, but not that difficult that you cannot solve it. This is asked in exams like CAT. This is an actual CAT question, just asked. So whenever we have a question, right, try to analyze the question, just look at the question, understand it, and see whether you can solve this question by some other techniques or not, other short tricks or not. So we keep on taking more interesting question on simple interest and compound interest. For today's, thank you so much. Stay tuned for my another topic on simple interest and compound interest. We'll be taking more difficult questions. Thank you.